A warm namaste and a big hello to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome back to my channel. In my last video, I had shared the review of two documentaries that are doing the round right now, and people who are from the twin flame world, or you can say the people who resonate with the twin flame word or twin flame ascension journey or the concept of twin flame, have many questions about it. And not that these questions were not there before, these questions were always there, but as we progress in every stage and in every phase, the questions change. Our experiences teach us that nothing really is good or bad. Even the bad experiences take us to singularity. Similarly, these documentaries have quoted people who have gone through really bad, harrowing experiences because of the cult leaders. I'm not going to take anyone's names. You can watch the documentaries and figure out yourself. But a lot of people gave their accounts. I feel unknowingly or knowingly, their logical understanding or their masculine energy has healed. Let's understand that twin flame is basically an energy that is existing in an individual. This energy comprises of two opposite polar energies, masculine and feminine. Whatever is inside of us, we always see a reflection of it outside like a hologram. So when we have weak masculine energy within, we will see the external manifestation of it. If we have weak feminine within, we will see an external manifestation of that. When we have both energies in distorted states, we will see the external manifestation of that. But as we start to work on these energies, as we start healing these energies, we also see the improvement in the external reality. So what's within is also outside. However, as time passes by and you ascend in this journey, you realize the truth about twin flame journey. You also realize a lot of things that you actually desired at the beginning of this journey, you no longer want it. Especially the physical manifestation of love. A lot of people are assuming, they are thinking that love is a certain way, or love is this, or love is that. They have a certain definition of love in their minds when they start initially resonating with this word or with this journey. Once they do proper inner work, deep inner work, healing therapy, and it should be genuine, it should be correct, they realize that, okay, this is not what love is. I thought that love is so and so, love is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, but love is not that. Wow, love is something else. Twin flame world is so interesting. The cardinal twin flames, Shiva, Parvati, Sita, Ram, and Krishna and Radha, they have shown the world in different ways what is the meaning of true love. True love is not about physical possession. True love is not about sitting next to your partner all the time. If you really truly love someone, you can love that person in different capacities. But you have to learn to love first. And learning love is what we are here to do, all of us. So under my video, under the review, some of the people have written down really cool comments, and I would like to read out and add my points to it. So unapologetically you 1047 has written, so happy you spoke on this. I was saying the exact thing about the advice being the anti-union. I do think they started with best of intentions, but they failed to ground expectations from both themselves and others. The journey is only guided by source, and therefore coaching is to keep someone grounded and not to tell them what to do. So much love to you. I personally feel that when they started on to this journey of coaching people, they were not really in twin flame union. They still are not in twin flame union, because if people are in twin flame union, this is not how they behave. Especially if you are a coach. As I said in the last video, that twin flame energy is so powerful and divine. It is not about materialistic possessions. It is more about volunteering. Even if you have the materialistic possessions or you do certain amount of resource generation, your idea will always be to live a life of solitude or to live a very truthful life. If you're with your partner also, if you have a connection, then also both of you will always be more focused about inner work, about ascension. This is exactly what Shiva and Parvati projected to other people. Shiva and Parvati on many occasions were not even living together. Shiva used to go to different mountain and Parvati used to be in different mountain, and they used to do it a lot of times because Shiva was a hermit by birth. He was totally Vairagi. So for him, even to come to someone as a husband in a marriage was a very big thing. And Parvati was completely opposite. While Shiva was a Vairagi, Parvati came from a materialistic setup where her father was a king and she was a princess. As Parvati, she was with Shiva in certain capacity, which was more comforting for her because of all the inner work she did and because she had to reincarnate. But if you have read the story of Shiva and Sati, you would know that as Sati, there were multiple challenges. Parvati had to overcome those past life programming based challenges by doing inner work. And once her inner work reached to a certain level, Shiva came to her, recognized her, and they got married. And think about it, usually they say that recognition is the first stage. According to my research, I feel duality is the first stage and recognition is the second stage, if you look at the stages, the description or the breakup. However, in Shiva and Parvati's case, the recognition happened much later because Parvati had recognized Shiva, but Shiva had not recognized Parvati. So this is so interesting, and that's why I say that twin flame actually means Shiva Shakti energy in a person, in a specific individual. Any individual can be born with this, and when I say any, I'm not saying that everybody is like that. Yes, you have to actually be in such a level, your soul has done so much journeying, or your soul's life purpose on earth is simply to volunteer and push earth into a higher vibration as a collective, then you will be born with this energy. But if you look at the world around you, many people have not even reached duality. They are still below duality. They still don't understand that there is an opposite polar energy of everything. So reaching duality or to be born at the level where you understand duality is also a great gift of universe. So you have the Shiva Shakti energy inside of you. Now this Shiva Shakti energy can get distorted because of family programming, because of how you are born and where you are born and what are the templates you carry when you are born. So you could be born in a very ascended state, but you have chosen to take on to those templates for a very selfless reason. And the selfless reason is to be in sync and in alignment with the earth's ascension process. And this is the reason why many people felt a great shift in 2020, because in 2020 earth did a reboot. In 2020, whatever we saw was a global pandemic. First time in the history of Earth, in so many years, we have seen World War I or II, but we have not seen an epidemic or a calamity that engulfed the whole planet at the same time. The lockdown and the pandemic took place in many parts of the world, which did a reset of Earth. And 2023 was a difficult year. Now that the year is ending, after 3 years, people felt a kind of shift again. And those people who already had shifted by 2018 and 2019 knew that 2020 was actually the time when they were enjoying the lockdown or the pandemic or all the things that were happening on earth, because they were already saturated by whatever was happening on this planet much before that. So people got activated much before that, and there was a great awakening that took place in 2020. You have seen after 2020, a lot of things have actually been coming to light. Like many people don't care about a lot of materialistic things. As a collective, globally we are healing. Twin flame ascension plays a pivotal role in this because it is the wounded masculine energy and the wounded feminine energy that leads to distortion in the life of children. Children should be the main priority of this planet, but if you look at the world around us, they're giving birth to a lot of children, but what about the destitute children? What about the beggars? What about the poor condition of education on this planet? What about all the children who are dying of hunger and starvation? What about all the sick children? Nobody is caring about that. In 2023, and 2020, many people have started questioning about these things, like why are we all having so many biological offsprings when we really cannot even take care of those who already exist on this planet, because this planet's future depends on the children of this planet. Now, whatever we saw in these two documentaries, the one on Prime and the one on Netflix, there are so many delusions that this cult is living through, or the cult leaders are spreading. But we need to understand, why are so many people buying into those delusions, or why we all have also bought into those delusions when we had not figured out about ascension or awakening. Because the programming is such, the programming makes us become very desperate for a romantic relationship or a romantic union, and at that time we are not even thinking straight. We are not thinking, why do we want this romantic union, why do we want this person so badly, why do we want love so badly, why do we want the physical manifestation of love so badly, and what is really the physical manifestation of love, what is love? We never question that. So unknowingly, these people have put some people into the questioning format, but I do understand that they still don't have a lot of spiritual concepts clearly, because they are so traumatized. I feel they are also traumatized that they cannot trust anyone easily. And this is exactly what a lot of false teachers and cult leaders do. They break our trust in such a way that we cannot even trust in God, because actually people are looking for love and people are looking for God. But because they do not themselves have the correct programming, they start considering these leaders or these teachers to be God, and they have this blind faith or blind love for them, and they're willing to do just about anything, which is what is shown in the documentary, which is also being shown via the accounts of people. But are these people the only cult leaders that have done this? No. There are so many others, and there are so many good examples that we all are aware about. If we just turn around, we look around us, we know about these. And on Netflix also, there are many such wonderful documentaries where we don't see just cult leaders acting like this, but we've also seen a lot of famous celebrities acting like this. Like the documentary on Jimmy Savile is really an eye-opener on how madly people worship celebrities without realizing that those celebrities are also just projecting a physical identity. It is not a real identity. I mean, it's not necessarily a real identity. The word hero and heroine is given to a lot of people, or the word celebrity is given to a lot of people who we see getting worshipped or getting celebrated. But the things that they are showing to the world, or the things that they are talking about, could be in the diameter of lust, possessions, violence, and whatnot. So Jimmy Savile, before he died, asked the people to put on his tombstone, "It was good till it lasted." He was basically mocking the people, because he always knew till his death that he was a pedophile. He had no guilt or shame or remorse about it. He was a demon in physical, and he was not only just molesting people or raping people, but he was doing it to handicapped people, handicapped children, or really young teenagers who could not even fight for themselves. But his mental ability to protect himself was so strong. He knew about it, that if he's not going to focus on that energy, he can get saved. So he mocked the people, and he knew that till the time he is alive, people are not going to know. But once he's physically dead, people will speak about it. And that's why, to urge those people even more, to trigger people even more, he got that statement written that it was good till it lasted. That is the amount of demonic energies some of these people possess. It is really sad and it is really scary, because they never think that they are wrong. Now, we cannot speak about every cult leader in the same capacity or in the same breath, because some of them have done really horrible things, as I said, Jimmy Savile, and then there are some who have even made people kill others, and then there are some whose only motivation is money. Money, 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 money. But let me tell you, as we spiritually ascend, money is not that big a deal. If you make money, then you know that it's a resource for you. It's an energy for you. It is not something that you should worry about, you should fear about, or you don't have to save so much that there is surplus of it, that there is so much in the savings account, or you have hoarded on to so many cars and properties and jewelry and bags. Some of these hoarders love their hoard so much that they even organize it properly. They put it out there for show, and they put it out there to tell the world how much they possess and how great they are and how rich they are. But actually it's just a mental disease, because you cannot technically take anything with you from here. Once you're dead, everything stays here. So all of the effort that people put in saving so many things, in having so many materialistic possessions, is actually just a very dumb thing to do. It's not the right thing to do. As long as you're existing on earth, you should have a business, or you should have an occupation, or you should have a work. Spiritual ascension actually teaches us that as long as you're alive on earth, you should be grateful for everything that God gives you: food, water, shelter. But you have to be responsible enough that whatever you get from universe, you got to return it back. You got to give it back to earth. You got to give it back to people. Even if you have a profession of healing or therapy, or if you work as a spiritualist, then also you must have some kind of a volunteering service or duty that you have taken on, not for show off, not to tell the world how great you are, but you do it because it feels like a natural thing for you. It could be anything. It could be taking care of rape victims, it could be taking care of old people, it could be taking care of destitute children, it could be providing food to voiceless beings, it could be providing medical facility to voiceless beings, it could be about taking care of flora and fauna and growing trees. On this planet, even the trees are getting harmed because there are less of feminine fruit giving trees and more of masculine trees. So there is a distortion even in the plant kingdom and tree kingdom, which leads to a lot of problems, which leads to us always rushing to grocery stores to buy stuff. We are not naturally plucking from trees and plants. We are not growing our food. Growing food should actually be the most important thing, and the key lessons of our education system should be based around it. We should teach our children how to grow food, not just theoretically but also practically. Everybody should utilize the spaces in their living areas. Like if you live in a society, then you have so many terraces which are empty. Everyone should come together in your societies or your housing complexes or communities to create a kitchen garden, to create a terrace garden, to utilize that space. If you live in a village, then also you should grow organic food. If you are living in your own house, like you don't have any dependency with anyone, then also you should try to utilize even small areas like balconies should be utilized. Some amount of food should be grown in your house, or you should make sure that your children are getting to learn about growing food and living with animals, naughty animals who are always sleeping and then when they wake up they create a storm playing around. Animals makes this planet a beautiful place. Birds, plants, it all makes a beautiful place. So if the cult leaders are not talking about giving back to earth, then what are they teaching us? We need to question that too. But we cannot question these things because so many people are not even ready yet. So many people are programmed, so many people are in distorted energies themselves that they cannot recognize and differentiate kusangati from satsangati. Kusangati means bad company and satsangati means good company. And good company and bad company is not necessarily always coming in the form of physical proximity. You can be listening to a lot of people who are giving you bad company examples or vibes. You could be watching a lot of content which could be programming your mind in a negative way, taking you away from God, distracting you from God, and keeping you stuck in lust, in ego, in bad health and whatnot. Another interesting comment is by Babita T5109. Now finally something resonated with me, dear. Just loved it. I just had decided to skip these twin flame thing because of all these couple concepts. आपके DM आपका क्या क्या कहना चाहते हैं? Like what does your DM want to say to you? Or messages from your DM sort of lol. Life becomes so easy and magical when we have clarity on what exactly we are seeking for and trying not to fit in with the rest of the things, requesting more guidance from you on such single twin flame concepts and content and matrix reality, dear angel. You all are angels, we all are angels, and we've been devils, and sometimes we still act as devils when we are not in our best selves. So thank you for these wonderful comments. It really is going to contribute to the collective, because these comments are coming from an open and wiser understanding about the twin flame concept. The only reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want people to get so negative that they lose faith on the Shiva Shakti energy that is right inside of them. That people should not get misguided and misdirected, which is also going to happen to those people who are traumatized by these episodes and these events. The twin flame concept truly exists. The ascension process truly exists. Spiritual ascension is a true thing, is a real thing, and many people on this planet are reaping the benefits of it. But just because few people give you false concepts or they play around with your feelings doesn't mean those concepts are bad and there's something wrong with the masters, and there's something wrong with all the celestial beings that are projecting it out via their own lifestyle. So if you look at Ram and Sita, another cardinal twin flame couple who never projected outwardly to people that you have to sit next to each other and you have to be in luxury, you have to have all the fancy stuff, because Ram and Sita did two wonderful things. First is, when Lord Sri Ram was given exile to forest, Sita decided to go with him. Sita had never lived in any difficult situation. She was a princess and then she got married to Lord Sri Ram. There were always, dasis around her, or her caretakers around her, or people who work for her were always around her. But still she said, I will go to the forest and live with my husband. She had to walk bare feet, she had to wear very ordinary clothes, she had to eat very ordinary food, and she had to be content and satisfied. They were doing the opposite of what these cult leaders are doing. These cult leaders are all about the Porsches and the cars and the fancy house and this and that and the Chanel bags. I was really shocked, because I was thinking that ever since, and this is a natural and organic thing, by the way, you don't have to really force it. Ever since the ascension took place in me, I stopped buying branded clothes. Like, I honestly, if my siblings gift it to me, or if somebody who really loves me gifts me something branded, I take it. I say, okay, they've given it to me out of love, fine. But I always tell them that please don't waste your money on these brands. Please don't spend unnecessary amount of money on these things. I mean, this much money can be put to good use. And it's not something someone teaches you. It will happen to you organically. This is the magical part. So I will give one example, and this is not about comparison, but this is something that had actually shocked me when I have seen some other cult gurus also flashing fancy cars and fancy things. I've always thought that what is the need of having so many cars? Okay, you have one car, you need it to, move around, understandable. But then when you have 4 fancy cars that you are buying, spending millions, this is not ascension. This is the opposite of ascension. Ascension is not about hoarding. I have been a brand conscious person because I had to fit in with my corporate job, and whenever I used to go to my office, there were some girls who would always say, hey, this brand is good or that brand is good, you should wear those shoes and you should have this bag or that bag. So once or twice I remember I had spent money on this really fancy item which was so uncomfortable that I actually ended up questioning that I spent so much money on these pair of heels, these shoes, but I cannot even walk 1 kilometer wearing these shoes. So what's the point of buying them? Okay, if I have to wear them and just sit somewhere and I have to walk here and there, fine, but they were not comfortable even in that capacity. So this was one question I asked myself long back, but obviously the activation of Twin Flame Ascension had started. So Twin Flame Ascension is not about just romance. Romance is the entry. Romance, because it has to be the entry. How else will you question love? If you're not going to have a failed relationship, or if you're not going to be in a toxic relationship which looks very good from outside, societally it will have all check marks, all tick marks. Good looking partner, rich partner, working in a fancy company, in a multinational company, looks like a good provider. Okay, there will be action in the bed, this, that. Or obviously, if there is attraction, those things will also come in your mind. But even after you have attracted that kind of a partner which looks societally perfect, but deep inside you're not happy in that relationship, you're always questioning that relationship, it is not spiritually fulfilling, it is very physical, it is very materialistic, then you're not going to be happy. And that's when you're going to question your choice of love. You're going to question that when I started out in this relationship looked perfect, but now it doesn't look perfect because, or it doesn't even look comfortable because it is not providing any spiritual growth. So most of the times people who are on an actual ascension journey, which is the grace of God and masters only, it's not something that we do on our own. It's not like we choose the path. I feel the path chooses us. We don't have real control on it also. Sometimes I feel like that because there are so many people who have been around me, they have lived around me, but they are still the same. I have not seen them bother about spiritual ascension or talk about these things or even resonate with this thing. Even if you drop the word twin flame in front of them or ascension in front of them, or you talk about something that is very deep, meaningful and very soul oriented, I don't think they will even look at it, or they'll turn around and ask you a question that what are you talking about. They will not be bothered. They will not vibrationally be a match to it. So this excessive attachment towards brands and towards expensive things is something that automatically goes away when you are in an actual real ascension journey. The masculine and feminine energy is inside of us, and in the outside reality we have all these mirrors that show us what needs to be changed, what needs to be worked upon, what is really good already, what is it that we need to have gratitude for. Actually, we should have gratitude for everything. And honestly, ever since I've seen these two documentaries, I'm actually very grateful to God. I'm grateful to all those people who put this up together. Even if it's not 100% perfect, even if some of the concepts they put out there, they're still very confused about it. Like the changing of the names. Everyone I saw was questioning the name change. Name change should be the least of the concern actually, because there are people who are changing their sex, they are changing their identity, they are changing everything because they think that doing so will give them love. But please understand, externally you can change anything, it will not have any impact, because internally you have to work. If internally your masculine and feminine energy is distorted, then how will externally changing anything help it? You can make changes in the body. If somebody has distorted masculine energy, doesn't mean that that person should become a man. Like tomorrow if someone tells me, hey, if you become a man, your masculine energy will get healed, I will actually find it very funny. In fact, there was one lady in the series, she did find it very funny when she walks up to her mother and she says, Mom, I'm a man. And it sounded really actually it sounded funny. See, God has given you a certain gender for a reason. Whether you're a transgender, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, God has given to you that body for a reason. People have started playing around with what God has given to them. If you feel a certain way about your sexuality also in a certain body, whether you're a male, whether you're a female, but you feel like, okay, I relate more towards femininity or I relate more towards masculinity, then too the correct way is to go within. To go within and search for the answers as to why you are feeling this way. But in today's world, unfortunately, people have so much technology and so many luxuries and so many things that they have started working on the external interventions and they have completely forgotten the internal. Completely. And that's why they're still unhappy. No matter what they do, they're still unhappy. And this unhappiness, it doesn't dawn upon you instantly. It takes time. It takes a couple of years. So you are actually very lucky if you are in the Kundalini awakening process, and if you feel that after all these years of being in the twin flame bubble or twin flame world, you have reached somewhere, you have more peace and you have more clarity about yourself, then you are very lucky. 100% clarity you cannot get in one day. This is a journey of a lifetime. This is an ascension journey, and ascension is a lifestyle. So if ascension is a lifestyle, it has to be a part of your life. It cannot be fixed like this. And if it does, then it has to be the hand of masters and source. It has to be a mystical hand. It cannot be a physical hand doing some operation on you. Nowadays, there are people who are also doing psychic surgeries. There are people who have learned so much, who have gone within so much, that they've realized that every problem, every disease, every issue, every financial crisis, every attachment problem, every health problem, every family issue, every narcissistic pattern that we have, that we see in the external, like if you're attracting a lot of narcissistic partners, you cannot keep changing the partners, or you cannot keep doing something in the external to fix it. You have to go within. You have to heal yourself. You have to give yourself that correct therapy that only a spiritualist or a genuine teacher will give. And a genuine teacher or a spiritualist will never say that they are God. Will never say they are God. They will never ask their students or disciples to worship them. They will only direct them to source, masters. They will only direct them to God. They will never allow self-worship, because self-worship is the highest degree of narcissism. When cult leaders do it, people question them. Okay, it's wrong, they should not do it because they are actually using God for it. But yes, even celebrities are doing. People from Hollywood do it. People from Bollywood do it. People from the cricket world do it, or the sports world do it. The football world do it. But have you noticed they also are very smart? They directly don't say or ask people to worship them. They just exude that energy that they are meant to be worshipped. They should be worshipped. Actually, there is always a thin line in celebrating people or celebrating life. As long as we are celebrating source, the life within us, the love within us, the beauty within us in an esoteric spiritual way, it's okay. But as soon as it becomes physical or egotistical, that's where the whole problem starts. I have one more interesting comment by Vijay Lakshmi, which I personally felt was very helpful for the collective. So I'm going to share it with you guys. I guess their channel and videos were the first to strike when I came to know about the Twinflame term. But later, after reading few mails and watching videos, I unsubscribed to their channel. Don't know why. The same thing happened with me also, Vijay Lakshmi. I watched a couple of them in the very beginning. Like, I won't even say very beginning. I think they all started popping up a lot since 2014, 15, 16. 16, they were everywhere, literally. Personally, I was not a vibrational match to whatever they were saying, so very soon I lost interest. Some of them sometimes did say something very profound and very meaningful, but my intuition was telling me that they are not in union. Although for some time they will also have this assumption that they are in union, but later on they too will realize that it's not a union situation. They are not happy, unless, because as I see in this case with these two people, they have made so much money and they have materialistically done so many things that it would be really difficult for them to actually separate also. Remember, people, we always give to others what we have inside of us. If we have confusion inside of us, we'll give others confusion. If we have clarity inside of us, we'll give clarity to others. If we have a lot of materialistic attachments, we will give to others the same thing. If we have material success, we will show to others material success. If we have spiritual success, we will show to others spiritual success. So it's the easiest way to find out is, what are they giving to other people? Are they giving to other people more of attachment, or are they giving to people more of relaxation? Like today, one of my volunteers, very bright girl, she asked me one question about the divine masculine and feminine love letters, and I think I should address it here also. And I will come back to Vijay Lakshmi's full comment. It's a long comment, but it's a very interesting comment. So these letters actually act as medicines, because everybody doesn't have access to those type of energies where they can get those answers. Sometimes people are just looking for a genuine apology, but an unhealed person cannot give you that apology. Sometimes channeling means to channel the energy of someone else in a certain time frame. So 3 years back, I had shared a channeled message, and I forgot about it. Honestly, I don't even remember what all I have shared, where all. 3 years later, somebody wrote to me that this is happening with me word by word. This is exactly what I'm going through. This is the emotion and this is the situation. 3 years later. But I'm not gonna say that this girl is 3 years behind or this girl is 3 years in time. Because maybe the energy resonance is the same. However, the spiritual advancement is probably the same, because she's also watching the current videos and she resonates with it, and then she saw that one message, she heard that one message which was shared like 3 years back, and it completely resonated. So channel messages usually come from healed spaces, and sometimes they also come from anger, sometimes they also come from questioning, because all experiences are valid and all experiences are good if they help us in our ascension journey. And this masculine energy and feminine energy is within us. Whether it is distorted or whether it is healed, we have to accept it that way. So as a feminine, you could be too emotional and codependent. But as a masculine, at that point in time, if you can increase your logic and you can decrease your emotional dependency by maybe listening to certain words that give you strength and courage, then actually it can help you out in that situation. In many cases, masculines becomes over logical and starts thinking way too much and starts questioning so much that they only see negative patterns everywhere. They will look at all females like they are their enemies. All women are bad, all women are evil, all women are this and that, because they have not healed the mother energy within them. They have not healed the divine mother energy within them. So they will see as every woman as a manifestation or a projection of that, and they would not also be able to accept feminine nurturing or feminine love, because the nurturing within them is so low, is so less, that they cannot really accept it when it's coming from other people also. So we also need to be ready. The patra means the utensil, the bowl. If your bowl is not ready, it cannot contain what has been given to you. For example, tiger's milk is very strong milk. You cannot contain this tiger milk in an earthen pot. You cannot contain it even in steel or aluminium utensil. To be able to store tiger milk, you need to have a utensil or a bowl which is made of gold. So are we that utensil that we can contain that particular energy? That is the question we also need to ask. So continuing to Vijay Lakshmi's comment, I watched the first episode yesterday only, and I was thinking that according to this documentary, this concept is false also. As much as I understood from the one episode only, and I saw your video today morning regarding the same series, maybe it's a guidance / answer to my doubts. But I would like to thank you for talking the truth always, and also like to request that please share more knowledge on this. I listen to few channels also who don't give false hopes, and they talk about ascension's true meaning / path. So I'm a proud follower of yours, Jai Shri Ram. And we are all followers of Source and of One Love. We are not following any of us. We are actually following the correct ideology and principles. And whosoever can contribute in that, we should follow that person's ideology and the knowledge they give and the love they give. And actual credit goes to masters and source only, because source and master is the doer. We all are simply medium. So as a medium also, we have to be very responsible. Like right now, by writing this comment, Vijay Lakshmi has become a medium. She has become a medium and given voice to all those people who got a bit confused. And I was actually thinking, when I was watching the documentary, I was thinking the same thing, that they still don't understand the concept. They still think that it's a false concept and only these two cult leaders have found about it and they are sharing it. No, it's a universal concept. Like God is universal concept. Ascension is universal concept. Shiva Shakti energy is universal concept. Similarly, twin flame ascension journey is a universal concept. This name actually came in at a certain time frame. I mean, 100 years back, no one knew this word. 50 years back also, no one knew this word. So if this word or this concept has been incubated in the timeline right now, there has to be a reason for it. Because actually, it all started happening in the West. It came from West. So twin flame is an English word that came from West. But literally, it means Shiva Shakti energy, Ardhanareshwar energy, coming together of masculine and feminine energy. It talks about chakra alignment. It talks about us healing our chakras. It talks about Chakras are always healed. We need to be healed so that we can take the energy of the chakras. So this concept came back into the world via the Western world because they coined the word twin flames, or the word soulmate, twin flame, love. These are all English words. They've been in use popularly. And also, I would not say they came directly from the Western world. I would say that they came from the language, because English has become a global language now. Wherever you go, people can speak a little bit of English. People can talk in English. So in today's time and world, English has become that language. And any language in any time, when it becomes global, it will create some terminologies and it will create some words for the ease of communication. So twin flame as a concept is real, but the word twin flame, it is nobody's monopoly. It is nobody's private right. It is nobody's copyright. Just the way no one can copyright God, no one can copyright source, no one can copyright the word twin flame also. Twin flame universe is an ideology. It was a concept these two people were working on as a couple. But those who got affected by it, they actually think that this twin flame word must be some evil thing that only they are talking about. Many people are talking about, and let me tell you, even in this department, many are fake and many are real. Many tarot card readers or many people are just about saying anything. Every day they are sharing content which has got nothing to do with reality. They are just putting people into more attachment towards the physical self, towards the physical body of two people. They are not thinking about the soul concept. So why these words then came in? False twin flame, catalyst twin flame, walk-ins. Why these words came in? Because many of the readers or healers or ascension coaches were trying to tell people that, look, this is what it is. It is not a hard and fast rule. It is an energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It cannot be created. But it can be transferred from one place to another. This is the law of conservation of energy that states that total energy of an isolated system remains constant. It is said to be conserved over time. Neither it can be created nor it can be destroyed. Rather, it transforms from one form to another. So if you have twin flame energy inside of you in a certain format, level, phase, whatever you're going to call it, or a percentage also. So for example, initially you have knowledge about the twin flames 20%. So you will see 20% of it in the outside reality. Then you have 40% understanding, you have 50% understanding, 60, 70, 80. And then there comes a time you have 100% understanding of it. And then you will see it in everything. You will see love everywhere. You will not see love only in a romantic connection. You will see love in every leaf and every petal and every animal and every plant, and that may include your partner also. They may be one of those people. And I have read about stories of saintly people who were in horrible marriages, like their marriages were not really good ones, the partners were not really loving and kind, but they loved that marriage. They were very grateful to God for that marriage, because that marriage took them close to God. That marriage took them close to source. Even in Tulsi Das's story, Tulsi Das is a saintly person who wrote Ramcharitmanas. So Tulsi Das was extremely in love with his wife. So much so that one day his wife goes to her house for some work, and Tulsi Das cannot live without her. Tulsi Das has to see her in physical. And it is such a difficult night, but he, somehow crosses a river, and then he runs all the way, and then he climbs the wall, and there is a snake. He even holds a snake as a rope. And finally he knocks the window of his wife and he says, "Hey dear, where are you? I have not seen you, blah, blah, blah." And the wife is shocked. The wife is like, "Oh my God, look at the extreme amount of attachment you have with me." His wife became a catalyst for his ascension, his awakening, because she said that if you would have searched for God this way, you would have probably met God the way you're searching for me. Because she was kind of unhappy about the husband's over attachment. This is a good wife. This is a very good partner. This partner is taking the person, the husband, towards God. And then there are some partnerships, they are so materialistic in nature. The partner is so materialistic in nature that because of their demands and because of their narcissism, because of their extreme attachment with the worldly world, or with their demands and whatnot, they are like, they basically annoy the other person in such a way, or they detach the person in such a way, detachment is the better word here, that because of that partner, the person is connected with source. Now, a twin flame, physical, external person who you are assuming to be your twin flame could have played a role in that. Maybe at the right time they showed up. Maybe at the right time they talked with you. Maybe at the right time you had some fling with that person and it kind of shifted you. I'm not gonna judge anyone, guys. I'm not gonna judge anyone. Whatever way you found God. I mean, I'm not gonna judge these people also who are basically treated so badly by the cult leaders, because in some way they have figured out that the truth is something else. This is not what love is. Love doesn't mean so much attachment to the physical. So transformation of energy, transmutation of energy is what we are all doing right now. Keep bringing in the questions, people. It's you who ask me these wonderful questions and I feel like replying, I feel like talking. Every good question is great for the collective, and every confusion is also great for the collective. Sometimes our confusions also act as great information providers for the collective. So keep bringing it on. Just remember, two things we have to be careful from. One is lust and one is ego. Ego here, I would say ghamand or arrogance. When we have arrogance, we can never learn. When we have arrogance, we cannot bow down to God or to any saintly person. We cannot love, enjoy good company. We cannot even enjoy solitude. But when we let go of it, we become like a clean state. Similarly, lust will create so much trouble in a person's life. It is so distracting. Lust is so distracting. It keeps generating desires upon desires. So these two things, arrogance and lust, if we are careful from it, this is truly my master's teaching. I'm not going to take any credit on this. But when I heard it from his mouth, these words, when I heard it in the discourse, I was like so happy, because I felt that yes, this is something that we all need to work on as a collective. The more we work on ourselves, the less narcissistic we become. The more narcissistic we are, we keep blaming others. We keep saying this person is bad, that person is bad, that person is evil, this person is evil, blah blah blah. Now the time has come, I think, as a collective, we have raised ourselves to that level. 5 years of work has gone into this. Even on this channel, we have reached to that level that now we should only focus on how we can improve ourselves and work on ourselves and make ourselves better every day. And for those who keep joining in, they will always be connecting with the previous content that has been created and already been put out on the platform. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one, you can do so. You can check out the description box. It has all the details about the different therapies. I'm not gonna say that come to me only because I'm feeding animals. I'm gonna say that come to me if you really need it. Otherwise, use the content. The content is good enough for those who cannot afford personal sessions or the spiritualistic therapy that I give to people. I wish you all the very best, and I'm very happy that you exist because your contribution is wonderful. Keep working on your solar plexus, because all those people who work on the solar plexus can feel inner peace much faster than others, because solar plexus heals, connects us with all of our chakras, and it opens the Shushmana, it opens the nadis in such a way that the energy can flow. Thank you so much for being here. One love, peace out, and victory to Ram.